I'm an empath.
Hey everybody, it's the day before Memorial Day. It's a beautiful day even though it's cloudy. I'm with Ramon, who is a energy specialist. Wonderful young man, and he's going to talk to us today about how he heals and how he sees the body and its functions and the mind and everything that we're all about being positive in life. And so Ramon, take it away. Tell me about what's exciting you in life.
Well, Mr. Fantastic, definitely talking with you over a few times. I'm a big fan of the sun, gold, bees. Every day I always tell myself, as well as any of my peers, the bees never miss the honey. And why is that? Everything is vibrational or has resonance. Just like my beautiful young lady here, everything resonates at a specific hertz. It's called 528. That's the nice resonance of love. You have 5 and 5, which is 10. And then you have your electron shells, which are fundamentally 2 and 8 at the beginning, which is 10, ironically. So when things resonate around that, we can get an osteostrong or a black hole. Everything is relative, as Einstein, E equals MC squared. If you take time out, then you have energy and matter having a dynamic. pH, alkalinity, all of that has to do with telepathy in every form.
Well, we're born alkaline, and the problem is we put crap in our bodies,
just like
and we become acidic. Now I'm told that diseases breed in acidic environments.
It does.
You get yourself alkaline, like in the jungles of around the world, they don't get cancer.
No.
They don't get diseases.
Silverback gorillas, who would know that they are plant-based organisms? Those big gorillas.
Well, elephants. Are you kidding me? How do you get that big? Eating plants.
we want to be as strong as, but we go to McDonald's.
Right. It's a convenience. It's all about money. It's a money thing.
So with the fantastic and the honey and the sun, we always have to find that balance. But at first, it starts with the energy. Whether the technology of the gold, the platinum, it doesn't matter. We have to find what the true honey is. And that has to be the thing that has to be fantastic. And that has to resonate. No matter what subjective thing we want to put ourselves in, it has to be a nice, fantastic, physiological, bioenergetical, Jedi-like flow.
And that's the head. That's the mind.
It starts there. But we have to detox it. We have to. I will say it myself. I've been going way too fast all my life. I move like the Flash. So sometimes I have to slow down and understand the physics and the science and I've been given a lot to my life.
Well, when you live in a big city, it tends to...
In the urban environment where I'm from, I learned how to sell my first unfortunate thing early. And I learned how to use my hands way too faster than I had to. So that negative side of the pH scale definitely was a little askew. And then you have to listen to your mom and your dad. And also just learn from... I just had a son not too long ago. So I didn't learn how to love. I didn't know how to apply that 528 hertz until 38. My son became that earth to the moon, I mean, whether we want to believe the moon is there or not, it's there for a reason. The moon, the sun, everything is threes. If not, we don't have the balance. So the moon, Orion's belt, Sirius, or whatever astronomy, Mars, Elon, we have to just be on the same telemetry, or we have to be in the same resonance, because the math doesn't work.
It does come down to math. Yeah,
always. But you got to read the directions on the math.
Speaking of math, guess what Be Fantastic means in numerology?
That's why we're here.
It means health and planet. It
translates. Have you
translates.
studied Dr. Mitchell Gibson at all?
No, I have a natural bioenergetic rapport with math and numbers. That's the
You
best
should
way I put
Google
it.
him because he really has what you're saying, but he's taken it to a more sophisticated level.
We've got a young lady joining us by the name of... It's okay. That's fine. Your first name.
Susan.
Susan's joined us. She's a neighbor. We're all in the coffee house here.
This is a good dynamic.
She's been fantastic for a little bit. You met me a while ago.
For a long time.
Oh, good.
My whole life.
You've been fantastic your whole life.
I'm also an empath like our friend.
Okay.
I love it.
Wonderful.
I can tell.
You
the
can
energy
tell?
resonates because It's a natural, organic thing. We didn't plan this. I'm a huge reader of comic books. To me, Professor X, Magneto, we all are those aspects.
Right.
It's just if we we can be Deadpool, we can be Cable, we can be Dark Phoenix, we can be all of those. And to me, all of that, just like we're saying, is here. So whether we're X-Men or a mutant or Swamp Thing, it's all here. But we have to use the good of what's here. If we use our Magneto-like powers or Apocalyptic or Thanos-like powers, it's not good. It's an end game.
Well, you have to use power to build people up, not crush people.
Yes.
You should.
You should. But we have a lot of factors that also skew the mind.
And that's money. It's skewing the mind. Everyone's on a race to the red light to make more money. They push you aside. We live in a greedy, selfish, litigious city. The small towns aren't this way. If you've been to a small town, they open doors for you.
Yes.
They wave to strangers. They
The
let you in traffic.
yes.
And we need to bring that mentality to this big city. And we can if everyone starts being fantastic.
And we have all of this beauty. We have all of this construction going. Platinum, iron. We have all of this bioenergy going.
Right.
So it's even more critical, especially with the water, because the nuclear physics is not going to work right. If we don't get the resources and the balance, but here, with all of the bioenergy, beautiness, because bioenergy is more effective and efficient than any nuclear physics that we have out here. I'm not a nuclear physicist, but I damn sure understand that we need resources in hydrogen and helium to resonate. We don't need anti-hydrogen or antimatter to be more. It's a balance of organic and inorganic. Nuclear weapons or whatever, but we need more plants, we need more aloe, we need more this type of resonance where I never met her from first day, but just like I said, everything works in threes. It's a nice trifecta, like with pyramids or organite, piezoelectricity, because piezoelectricity is like when I massage or when I touch you. Mm-hmm. We can pull the electrons or we can give them. I've been doing that for over 15 plus years, and I commanded a good price over here. So with the understanding of how piezoelectricity works with my peers or her or anyone else, very strong. The way the bonds are in like everything, those are chemical bonds.
Do you know much about quantum physics? It's pretty interesting. I have
Planck theory.
I work with some physicists. We're coming out with some product that's going to really help our people as well.
Those elements are real because if you focus on them here, they really do resonate here. If you focus at the beach with the crystals, salt, what separates them? Crystals are reflections. Just like Silicon Valley, all of that is reflection and resonance. VR, all of it is the same, no matter how we see it. It can be spiritual or visual. I don't even have my contacts on.
It was nice talking to you, gentlemen. I wish you a lovely podcast, and I will see you guys later.
Have a fantastic day.
You too. Bye-bye.
And when it comes to taking resonance to another dimension, we have 9 planets. They say there's a 10th force out there. Subjectively speaking,
well, we haven't scratched the surface of technology yet. Are you kidding me? We're still a very low evolved race.
Unfortunately.
And unfortunately, if I was an alien coming to the world, I wouldn't talk to humans. I would talk to dolphins. I would talk to the ants. These are species that have it together. They're not killing each other.
Well, that's the 528 natural.
Uh-huh.
But there's still everything is here for a reason. So whether it's natural or unnatural, it still has to resonate because we're here for a purpose.
Right.
So alien or unalien, as we talk about, a lot of people don't want to scratch that surface. But it has to be talked about. We can't go forth without at least talking about it, having a comfort zone with it.
And whether you agree with it or not, start to experience it, start to analyze it, start to look at it.
It starts with thought.
Everyone has blinders on. They don't want to meet a new person. They don't want to look at. The Revelation of the Pyramids. Have you seen that movie?
I live it. I hate this. I love everything about pyramids. So that's what piezoelectricity about, or the organite energy, or the bioenergy. We have pyramid schemes, business-like. I've worked for it.
You know what someone said the other day? Sorry to interrupt. This Be Fantastic could be the ultimate pyramid scheme of all time.
But it's beautiful, though.
Well, of course, it's a good pyramid scheme.
But that's what Wall Street is.
That's what. Of course, it's greed.
When I got my CPA, everything back in the freaking late '90s, I understood how the money worked. So I said, you know what? It has to be here.
Yeah.
Because
money doesn't buy happiness.
I'm getting pussy left and right. It's more than that. I can't teach that to my son.
Yeah. You know that every parent is an amateur till they have a kid, and they were raised by amateurs who were raised by amateurs. So we're generations of humans being raised by amateurs, teaching our kids fear, which is not inherent in our chemistry, right?
Right.
And my theory is after 6 kids, you'll make less mistakes.
I like that.
But it's a learning process, and we love our kids, but we're going to make mistakes.
It's like with 12 hours in a day, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
You take half of that 12, that's 6.
Right.
So if you have a solid 6 mixed with another solid 6, depends on how you break it down, we have 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. There are objects out there that determine how that happens. Whether we want to put them in an astrological sense or a spiritual sense, those things resonate. Just like Sirius, the radio station, could be a astrological entity that has resonance with the sun, the moon, to keep us pollinating. So in order to be fantastic, that rapport, that Feng Shui, has to be a nice 528.
I like that word, Feng Shui.
I love Eastern thought on Feng Shui. They've had a good understanding about the...
well, they've been around thousands of years. Americans been around, 220?
I love rice.
Rice?
I love rice. But then when I found out rice is not only inherent to them, but also to the arid, dry regions as well, I knew why. Rice and beans are the ultimate plant-based protein.
Right.
You got rice... Eastern.
So rice is a protein
beans,
too. I know beans are.
And then you mix them together, they complete the perfect protein, actually.
Oh.
And so when you eat that, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes your fuel is magnanimous. Me personally, I have to slow down. I move too fast myself. My brain already moves fucking fast. So that beef or that lamb chop or that seafood helps balance what's the earth. We're meshing with what? Iron? The iron keeps us grounded. The iron keeps us grounded because suns go nova.
Speaking of iron, did you know that everything's balanced, right? The whole earth is balanced.
We like to think of.
Have you seen Our Planet, the series?
I watch it all the time.
I recently watched an episode. The winds, they kick up 2 billion tons of iron into the atmosphere. Without that happening and landing in the ocean,
yes,
it wouldn't be in balance. Yeah, no Feng Shui.
We have certain types of supernovas. Our sun is a specific type of sun that only goes to a certain level. That's the iron level. We have suns outside of this sphere that go platinum, plutonium-like. So that's the balance of why our sun has to stay in balance in lieu of other stars that are out there. Whether we subjectively want to absorb that science and theory, but that's the balance. Whether we look at Pluto or the Oort cloud, to me, it's just a re-education of priority, and that's understanding how bees work. I understand how me and you work. We wouldn't be having this podcast unless we resonated on some type of way. We've seen each other many times.
And this podcast had to happen at this moment, not a week ago and not a week from now. Yeah. Everything's destined to happen. I always felt like my life is Forrest Gump. It just happens.
I like that.
Great. I meet the great people. I do the great things, and I don't put any pressure on it to happen. It has to happen.
So
this, by the way, everyone listening, this podcast wasn't planned. No. We sat there, and I saw this guy's got some great information. I said, let's have a chat. He's very interested in the Be Fantastic movement, and because he is fantastic, and we need to make the world more fantastic.
Organically. And inorganically.
And I don't buy any subscribers. These subscribers heard of the movement. They said it's a good movement. They love the logo, and they joined. So organically, we're going to grow, and my goal is to get millions of people to be fantastic.
CBD, THC, plant-based, All of these things, chlorophyll, protein, essentials, nuclear physics, radiation. We have to understand these things because without the balance isn't there. Osteogenesis, supplements, none of this stuff nuclear physically will be a biohack unless it's understood by all. I know I understand it. But
I think it's above most people's pay grade. Unfortunately, our education system is 35th in the world, and our average intelligence in America is 6th grade. So they're not going to get this at all. They're not going to get half of what you just spoke about. No, and because they're just watching a comedy on television.
And so right now we're creating a musical of beautifulness to bring the Feng Shui appropriately, and with the channels touching on the right mediums across the board. The balance, just like this morning, is a Memorial Day.
There you go. Very good. So yeah, I throw out a lot. Speaking of Memorial Day, I threw out a lot of positive things to people to join and give discounts to our veterans. It's all about our veterans.
Was that I Love SOS?
Yeah, ilovesos.org.
I'm going to be honest with you, my good man. Never really... I've always fancied about the B-1 bomber and cyberspace, Star Wars even. Ronald Reagan. That man.
Speaking of Star Wars, do you know who my manager is? He's the biggest villain in the universe, Darth Vader. My friend,
I hate to say it, I'm a huge fan, but...
My friend Lucas Bablin is Darth Vader in the new Star Wars films.
Wow.
And he took a piece of the action instead of salary.
Hey.
You know how big that is?
Huge.
You should see his makeup. I'll show it to you when we stop the podcast.
The beauty of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, you don't have one without the other.
The balance again.
You need Yoda to get Darth Vader.
Yin and the yang. The black and the white.
We need it. You don't get that beautifulness without.
It's all in balance. And if you throw something off balance, it's
chaos.
It's chaos.
The way because I love Bruce Lee, I like to be like water. And I've practiced martial arts for so long, along with gymnastics. And that's probably why my flexibility and movement, because I love to dance.
I love to dance.
Oh, man, we got to go to
freaking
Ace Hotel tomorrow. When it comes to that, it brings beautifulness. Live Aid, Farm Aid. Remember? We Are the World.
Doug, he's on our board. He did those.
When you told me that, to me, that's the ultimate 528.
I created We Are the World. I was producing Ray Charles on his 50th birthday, and I came up with that concept. I gave it to everyone without NDAs. I gave it to everybody. It's an 18-page proposal to do a concert for charity and have an eclectic group of entertainers. I had picked out Michael Jackson, Pavarotti, a real, what do you call it? Smorgasbord of music to represent the world in music, and it came out as We Are the World.
In hindsight,
2 years later,
look at it, it looks like a mesh of children. But when you listen to the voices and the resonance,
right,
because they all looking around like, who's next? Who's next? And then, but when everybody gets in, even Cyndi Lauper, good gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
But everybody was vibrating off each other. It's like me, and whether I go outside because I want to go down to the beach. I love walking to the beach. And I love just really feeling the air, the iron, smell the plants,
right,
the poo, the ammonium. A lot of people don't understand.
I tell people, stop and smell the roses for 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Stop and watch a vista. They're driving by a beautiful vista. Pull over for 10 seconds.
That's it.
10 seconds.
That's bioenergy.
And you can meditate for 10 seconds, too. You don't have to meditate for 20 minutes.
When it comes to that piezoelectrical slowdown, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The hydrogen. We're in these bioenergetic hybrid cars just going. We're wasting fuel.
You're speeding the red lights.
And that's throwing everything off.
Mm-hmm.
So right now this movement is about understanding what bioenergy is, what love is, what your son, your daughter, coffee, how these carbs make the brain go. A lot of people don't understand. That's all the brain needs.
But here's the thing about this movement, and this is all about this movement. I'm so dedicated to it. We all have two things in common on this planet. Today we're going to be asked how we are. a rhetorical question, 600 years old, and we know that being positive is better than being negative. Those two elements make this a global movement to make the world a better place. When you say, instead of saying good, which is blowing off the answer, when you say you're fantastic, you're going to look better, you're going to live longer, and you're going to be happier. And you're going to make the other person the same way. Good is just a waste of time. It's a waste of time question, but we can't change the question, right? It's going to be around the rest of our lives. We could change the answer. This movement changes the answer, it changes the dynamic, it changes the energy, it changes the world. Be fantastic, people. Everybody listening to this, if you haven't joined the movement, go to YouTube, put in Be Fantastic, Google Be Fantastic. We're number 1 on Google. Download the Be Fantastic app. It's on Android. Next month it'll be on iOS.
I love it.
And understand
CBD,
your bodies.
Everything.
Not only is the Be Fantastic is for the mind, the CBD and the things that we're going to be releasing for the body. Like this guy today, he had the bed, the only bed in the world that turns sideways. For those people that they're bedridden, they need to be turned. Yeah. Humans need to be, roasted. Everybody, this is 20 minutes of a fascinating young man. We'll do another one again soon. I got to get back to the wife. She likes to see me every once in a while.
Yes,
Again, this was just as it was supposed to be. 21 minutes of brilliant advice from
bioenergy,
from Ramon and
organicness. Everyone
have a fantastic Memorial Day. If you're listening to this a year from now, be fantastic every day. Every day.
Fantastic.
Be fan-fucking-tastic. Don't live for the future. Don't live in the past. The present is all we have. Make the best of it. Tell your loved ones that you love them every day, because you never know. One day it'll be your last day. It's a little negative, but live for the day. Live, grab life. Most people don't get life till they're halfway through. 50, 55. Then they stop and say, oh my gosh, what happened? My kids are grown, they don't even like me. I was so busy making money. I always tell people, if you make too much money, your wife will divorce you and your kids will hate you because you weren't there. If you don't make enough money, your wife will divorce you and your kids will hate you because you're a bum. So it's like the Goldilocks zone. The earth is in the Goldilocks zone.
It is.
You need to be in the Goldilocks. You can't eat too much vegan. You can't eat too much meat. You have to have the Goldilocks theory.
Formula.
But everybody, be fantastic. Thanks for listening. Ramon, you're the best. You're fantastic.
I appreciate you.
Yes, my pleasure.
We got to do this again.
Everybody, be fantastic.